remaining, remember, at
Yeah,
the airport that you had to run for almost 2 to 3 kilometers to get to wherever. So let's
to
go.
the point. So yeah, when I got the boarding pass, eventually my bag was also tagged and put on the carrier, and now I'm the only person. Everybody was gone, so um, I didn't even realize that it was, from the check-in point to where the airplane is to go through the security again. It was about 2 kilometers to do that. It was about 1 kilometer to go through the security point where my hand baggage, the one I can go to the airplane with, they have to be checked and your belts have to be taken and all that. I had to go through that as somebody that's already, been traumatized. I did because it's part of it. So that the ticket you scan, if you know Malpensa Airport, Milan Airport,
Mm.
with your boarding pass, you have to just scan it and the door will be open and then you can get in, right? So I did that and the ticket opened, the boarding, I went in there. Um, the whole lines were just empty. I was the only person, the last person there to board a flight, basically. So I ran from there, just we and my bag and my sweat and whatever, just at least just now happy that at least I can get on the flight. That's the only thing I wanted. So um, whatever happened was just happened behind me, even though I haven't really even gotten the time to grieve it. I was still at the airport, so at this point I just want to get out of there. All right, so about 2 kilometers later, I went to the boarding to present my how do you call it, my boarding pass to get in the flight, because before you get into the flight, there's this counter that the last people you check before you go to the flight.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, one of them made a statement that we were about to leave you because my name was on the speakers. My name was being called on the speakers. Um, and from experience, right, from somebody who have traveled a number of times, most of the time there's a communication between the people at the check-in and the last people that check your boarding pass and your ticket. There's a communication, so
True.
they really know what's happening to me. So that comment they made before I got into the flight, I still think it was a provocative, just trying to get me to say something at last so that, whatever they already plan to put in place, being for security sake, I can be aggressive or say something and they will have a strong reason to monitor me, to keep me in a close monitoring. She said something that we were leaving you, like, you are lucky you are here, we were leaving you, something like that. And I didn't even expect that, really. But this is the last part to get on the flight, so I ignored it and gave him my boarding pass, gave him my ticket. They gave me that. They showed me which number, and I went to sit. So mind you, um, from the previous interview, you asked me if the airplane was it full or was it empty?
Was it full? Yeah. Was the flight full?
Exactly. It was full to the extent of the COVID. It was this COVID era, right?
So there's
So
social distancing on board.
exactly, social distancing on board. I sat at the window, two seats next to me, there was nobody on it, and opposite seat that is next to me, there was also nobody on it. So that was about 6 seats of me sitting on the window. So about 5 seats empty, and behind me was also the same, um, but it wasn't like structured like the way it happened to me. The other people were sitting on the other side. The people behind me, they had people sitting on their line and next to them. In front of me, there were also people just sitting next to them and on the other side next to them. So I was the only person that was sitting in a seat that was nobody there. There was an isolation. When I got into the flight, the people that were already seated, they witnessed what happened at the check-in, right? So um, there was all eyes on me. The humiliation just kept continuing. Just I got in the flight. I just want to sit down. I have to put my bag, the small baggage, in the roof, and everybody's eyes on me, just watching me like that. And Yeah, it's like you know, it's not the kind of pleasant looks. You know, I can't watch everybody's face at that time because I just want to sit down. But the few faces I saw was not the kind of welcoming face, like you know, the kind of face they give it to a terrorist. To be honest, um, I haven't seen a terrorist being given that face. But yeah, that's the kind of face that you know. Look, I got, and I got to sit down, um, and the whole time, you know, I just my neck, you know, it when you are under stress. I don't know if it's for everybody, but for me, when I'm under that amount of pressure, my neck start hurts. I can't even really turn this way at that time, and that was how intense, you know, the whole experience was for me. So at this point, I took, and I felt that because I wanted to, if I've come to this point, right, I still wanted to check to see if I can see some faces in case something happened. I can, you know, photogenically, I can, you know, just maybe, you know, make them out and make a description of what the situation is, right? Because in my mind, I had to make a report of this. It was very unusual. I've traveled a lot and I've never had such an experience like that ever in my life. So when that happened, when I got to the flight, my mood was just to um to have a detailed memory of what really happened, you know, as much as possible, so I can, you know, make my case known to Lufthansa. In case if they will need evidences, obviously they will not need it because there's a CCTV at the airport, right? And this is also one of the reasons why I decided to put the case in the media, because then it will push them to bring those informations, those CCTV video of that experience out. Since you know I couldn't record it because I was there, and I don't know who even recorded. You know, so when I was sitting in the plane, I just hoped that somebody would just come to me and then just say that I recorded you and there's a video here, you can have this video for. But nobody came like that. It was probably I was the only black person on the plane, to be honest. And you can imagine the looks and all that. I just went to sit down, pick my book. The book is still here. It's Homo Deus. I started reading it, and it was hard for me to concentrate. But I didn't. At that point, I was also under the impression. I was under the pressure to impress the people looking at me awkwardly that I'm not that, you know, idiots that, you know, they witness out there. You understand? So I took a book and then I started reading, and then I've been a reader like since my childhood. So I really love reading, and um, it works. It's a therapy for me where I can just, you know, zoom out in that environment and just, you know, get into it. I hope my mom is watching this video. This is a reference that she always make, because when I'm reading, when they call me, I can hear. When food is, even when his food is ready, they'll call me. I will not respond because that's how much I love reading. My nieces, my relatives, they all know this, you know. So um, it was a therapy for me. I took the book and I started reading, but at that point, you know, it wasn't the first 5 minutes. One page, I had to read one page for for the 5 minutes, going over and over, because it wasn't registering. You know, I still haven't really, you know, emotionally, I haven't, psychologically, I haven't settled down. And the effect was so strong that it took me some time. But I was in that posture of reading, right? And they could see it. People can see that I was reading as well. That's why I felt my neck. When I took the book, I have to tilt a little bit towards the book to read, and I felt my neck, and that's the sign of like extreme, you know, distress and stress on me, knowing my body and my health very well. Whenever I go through that super stress, you know, situation, my neck and my back, I can't really tilt it well. But you know, I pushed myself and forced myself to read, regardless of what mood I was in. And eventually, I read myself till I arrived at uh, uh, um, München. You know, Germans they call it München, but to English speakers, we say Munich, Bayern Munich Football Club, like everybody know, because that's a Lufthansa's headquarters, whatever. So we went there, and when we arrived, it is my perception that I was expected. I thought being in the airplane and calming myself down, regardless of what the situation and reading, it might have, changed the mindset of the other passengers. Not that I cared. I didn't really care, but I had people looking at me certain way that that I felt like I could have had an opportunity to even speak to them and ask them if they have no, just hear them. At this point, psychologically, you just messed up. You just want to speak to somebody that can, at least, congratulate you for being that calm person and seeing through that trauma, or just give a word of advice of what to do, and or probably just give me a video or something like that. That we witnessed this all live, and we know this is not a fault, and maybe you can use it. But there was none of that. Instead, there was the police. They were ready. I checked out, all eyes on me from the airport. Mind you, this connecting flight, it goes to Munich, and from Munich, it goes to Brussels. So I had to wait for 4 hours, maybe even more, at the airport, right, to get on the next flight from Munich to Brussels, which would be my final destination. So when I got there, the feeling, it was still there, because I'm seeing the police there. Where I sat, they were just parading next to me, just going left and right, and not far away from me. And just to be sure that I wasn't monitored, just trying to feel some kind of peace. I wanted to interact with the police, because these are the security people at the airport. So I went to them and then asked them, my phone battery is dead. I would like to charge my phone. And then they pointed out where I can charge. There's a smoking lounge. Just, I think, if I will calculate, we're less than 2 kilometers away from where I initially seated. So when I had when I told them, they direct me where it is, and eventually they walk with me, right? So I noticed this when I went to the smoking lounge. It's a transparent, it's a glass house, kind of, so you can see what's happening outside, even though if you are in. I noticed that the same police people at the airport, or the immigration police or whatever at the airport, they have changed their location, and now they are with me again. Because mind you, if I calculate right, they were going maybe 5 meters on my left, 5 meters on my right, just staying with me, basically. And when I went to the smoking room, I could also see them. The size of the smoking room is not 1 kilometer. So if I can see them, 2 of them, that means they are still, we walked 2 kilometers away from where I was sitting, for them to come and guard me, or look at me on my second location, which is far away from where I was. So at that point, I knew that they were really there because of me, right? I got my phone charged, and the second thing that I was going to do is I was going to look for Lufthansa service points there to make the complaint. I didn't want to do that, go directly there, because then it might trigger that previous emotion, and I don't know, I might kind of implicate myself in emotionally, trigger that incident, and I might do something wrong. So I needed to calm myself down a little bit, perceive the environment or the people around me to know that I'm not a problem, that I'm calm. And when I was able to be calm, charge my phone, I went straight to to the only counter of Lufthansa that I saw in Masai. I went there, and because of the corona, there's this glass door in front of her, and she looks like
Good.
the final point where you're about to, board your flight. So it wasn't a service point. There was no service point because of the corona. There was lockdown. If you have any complaint, you have to do it online. That's what I got to know later. When I spoke to the lady, I told her I had this incident and I want to make a report of it. Now, I was in the mood to make my statement, but she told me that's not possible. So she handed me a brochure with the instructions and informations and the contact email and all the details that I need to make my complaint. She handed it to me and then told me, yeah, that's what I need to do if I have proof of all that. That was the first, solution, that close to solution that I thought that, I had now. So I took the card, and then at this point, I also, because I was not able to make the report, I needed to have a proof of my presence there. So I walked to Lufthansa. They have a prototype of the airplane, which is like the logo. I have the video still. I have the video with me. For those of you watching, it might be also online as well. I have the video. So I recorded the video and then I went to sit back again.
Recorded the video of what?
The video of their prototype, the logo at the airport, at the Munich airport, because that was the location, just to know exactly where I sat, right? Just to have a proof of which neighborhood. So in case, if it comes to showing where were you at the airport, which terminal, which it was chaos for me. I can't remember these details, but it was it looks like the kind of prototype, a logo that is placed from somewhere. It's a standard location. So with that video, I'm able to tell where I was sitting, where the smoking. There could be multiple smoking lounge at the airport, but with the prototype and its location, I'll be able to locate which smoking lounge.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
exactly. All right. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
So, yeah. So, to say the reason why, one second, let me send this.
Okay, so after the recording of the prototype, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead to you boarding and getting back home and,
Yeah.
going through whatever
Oh.
happened to you, and then you decided to go to the arbitration.
Okay. So, after recording that, I went to sit down, and then there was a boarding time. So, yeah, I went to board the flight, and the flight from Munich International Airport, which is Germany, to Brussels.
Okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it might be maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah, that happened, and I arrived at Brussels, and from Brussels, yeah, I took the train from there and I went home. So when I reached home, the first thing I had to do was follow the instruction that the lady gave me at the airport at Munich, Germany. Made a photocopy of a screenshot of some of the how do you call it, the proof, because some were PDF, so I had to make them digital and take a picture of the rest of them. Now, basically, let me just put it, organize the information that I need to back up the story, and I made a complaint, right? So I made this complaint directly to Lufthansa, and then if I remember correctly, within two weeks, a week, I got a response um, that was very automatic. The standard, customer service uh, email for complaints. So it was not tailored. This was basically, that's how I felt. I felt like was standard. We are sorry for your experience, this, that, and they didn't mention anything like any refund. There was no nothing of that. Just dry response because my complaint, I asked, I think, 4 questions. One, why I wasn't contacted when they canceled the flight. Right? They had my number, they have my emails. Um, they couldn't show me any proof of them contacting me. That's one. And two, if they say the airplane, if the airplane, the plane was canceled, how come 2 hours later there was a flight, right? And then I think I asked you previously, that was a point where you explained that due to the COVID, a lot of airplane, flights were canceled. But if it was canceled, in my mind, I'm still thinking if it was canceled based on the COVID, why was there another flight available within 2 hours after that? So that was one of my questions. And the third question was um, to ask for, to be compensated for the drama the dramatized experience that I went through. And then the final was to ask for the reason why that happened in the first place, right? Why I encountered that situation. I wanted to hear that. I wanted to find out the source of that problem. Because up to that point, nobody have explained to me what. So um, their automatic response, dry response didn't answer all these questions. I wasn't satisfied. I knew this was gonna continue. Like they are not even showing no remorse, which means what happened at the airport, it probably haven't been got to the highest authority, or they haven't even, taken it serious. And that response alone just triggered also the fact that they didn't take me serious because I'm African. You know, these things happen. If I was I have some white friends, and if I told them the story, they said, "Hey, bro, you don't even have to, you know, say the race thing. This will not happen to me." They were straightforward, tell me that this is what happened. It happened because you are black. They said it, and I have these friends around that, will not flinch to admit it, that my case was a racial profiling case. So I took the case to an arbitration. I went online and Google and see how I can resolve it. Like find a middleman to, take this case up to them. Let them know that I'm really not going to back out from this case. I really, justice has to be served. I need to see justice.
Okay.
So
So where you are now, you people are in the cases with the arbitration.
exactly.
Okay. And first, I want us to stop the case being in arbitration. Do you understand me? We'll think of how to take it again further from there.
Okay.
So that let's not mix things up. Now you have
Okay.
taken the case to the arbitration, all right? Because you need
Yeah.
to seek justice. And then one thing you want to advise people that whatever that happens to you, know that it's racial profiling, because they always know that, yes, whatever that happens to a lot of black men or women, it's never their fault. But they know because they're going to fight for their rights and try to react. And immediately you reacted, they would have taken you. And then you like the fact that you want to tell them that whenever this kind of a thing happens, they should always, stay cool focus on the issue, and they try to get themselves out,
Solution.
and later you can now send up your complaint. Just advise them, then I'll come back. I want to close it well, okay?
Okay.
That this is where you are now. Remember. Okay, so that let's not model it up. This is where you are. So when you're done, I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 questions.
Okay.
That's it based on these things now. You said them, but I want to rephrase the question, and then because I want it to be you answered them in the first one that we did. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
You told me about them in the first one that we did, but you did not bring them out better here, this particular one. So I will go back and rephrase the question, but I want us to close this one well. Do you understand me? So now you have taken the case to the arbitration. You can also do justice to say, now that the case is with the arbitration and the media have gotten wind of it already, now they want to start talking. And apart from that, they're also using some, powers or whatever to, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. To bully me, it's a bully.
To bully you, yes, into, dropping the case. But all you seeking for is justice. That if only the lady at the airport had even offered solution or offered to tell you why your whatever was not there, do you understand me? And simply apologized, you would have just,
it would have given peace.
it would have been okay for you and you're gone. But with all the maltreatment, they knew that they knew whatever scam happened there.
Exactly.
They knew what it was.
Yeah.
Even the police knew.
Yeah.
But they didn't, there was a whole lot of cover up at the airport, thereby leaving you, treating you
stranded, leaving
almost, do you understand me?
That I had to go and see a doctor.
Yes, that you have to know that you were sick. Yes, you have mentioned that word. You have to go and see a doctor and look at that. They whatever that you're saying, the government of the Netherlands knows about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not the country where you say you went to see a doctor and you didn't go to see a doctor. It cannot happen. They know. And to prove further, they can't get the CCTV that you don't even want to begin to, because you don't want to relive those moments.
Really?
You don't want to relive them because it is so traumatic for you, and still is. That all you want is justice. And upon that, you're seeking for justice and you're being harassed up and down. They have still not told you the reason why that thing happened to you. Because as you speak now, you don't even know why it happened. Why was your name not on the ticket? Why? And you've asked this question and they were not able to tell you the reason why. And to me, to you, my African people or Black people that travel, this is the reason why we are being targeted. Do you understand me? They get you at the airport because they want you to overreact.
They get away with it. They get away with it.
You overreact. And once you've done that, and imagine if you're not legit, or maybe you have some funny, you would have been picked up immediately at the airport and messed up. So can we do that, and then you close that one, and I'll ask you one or two other questions so that we can round this thing up. Is that okay? Like I said, I want to post this video today so I can quickly work on it. So let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so
you want me to remind, now the case is in arbitration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
You have gotten the case, and because of you not getting justice, you didn't intend to come out publicly, but because of the way you were treated, not even told why those things happened to you, and continuously being treated and still being targeted.
Yeah.
While you are already home.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't even make excuses for them.
Yeah.
I don't want you to make excuses for anybody.
Yeah.
I don't say I feel it is no, not that you feel. I know.
It is. It's happening.
I know. You don't feel anything that because they won't even give you the right to feel anything. So, but
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
That this. Do you understand me? Yeah. So since it's an arbitration, you couldn't have gone to the arbitration, but because of the way the case, they were not taking the case seriously. You're so traumatized that up until now, You don't even want to begin to relive those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're quiet, you know, just so let's go down
Let's,
the
let,
emotional part. Is that okay?
okay. Yes. So eventually, yeah, the case is at arbitration. Um, and the first process was I received a form from the arbitrators, fill in all my details, where I live, my address, and everything. And then they asked me how much, what I need, to feel for the justice to feel to be at peace. All those informations was on the form I presented to them. I told them the story written that is already the same story that Lufthansa already know. And then they asked me for proofs. So more, they asked more questions, more informations to validate my story and the incident, which I provided. Um, at this point, it's at arbitration. We'll go into the details of that maybe in another episode. But for now, what I want to let the viewers or the listeners of my story know is that um, the incident that happened to me, I'm only alive now to talk about it because of the way I handled it. Um, Everybody, when I tell my story to people, everybody applaud me for staying calm, and giving them the space to resolve whatever the issue that happened at the airport, and not overreact, fight back, because that's a stigma. That's what happened to a lot of black people, black men and women. Um, we're stigmatized to be aggressive, and you can easily be provoked into that kind of mood where you will come up and say something or do something crazy, and then they will use it as an excuse to get you out of the way. And your story, even if your story is right, you will not even have the chance to 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 fight for it, because then you are out of the way. You cause a problem for yourself and you're out of the way. And you did not actually even cause the problem. They, set you up to cause that, because you will react. It's normal for human being to, to react in that kind of situation. And especially when our group of people, black men and women, there are evidence that we've been maltreated around the world. See what we've gone through. Um, you know that, yeah, this is what they've been doing for years. So in that position, I thought about it, and then I'll advise anybody that is watching this too, to, when you get into such a situation, a lot can go wrong depending on you, right? I would use that scene, for example, when the police came and then they left. I could have chosen to stay there and say, no, I'm not going anywhere, and be arrested and charged for being aggressive, right? And that remove you from the scene. I mean, your case, and who knows? Maybe they might find something on you, your paper. One of something, your paper is not right. There's something wrong with your passport, and although they will find something. Trust me, they will find something on you to get you not to even speak about the situation that caused that scenario in the first place. So when you are in a position like this, calm your emotions and use your head. Use your head. Um, I knew I was not guilty of anything, and because of that, that was my motivation to be that calm. If I had done something wrong, I would have been paranoid and probably find an excuse for them, and then just take it as normal, as if it's normal to be treated like that. No, it's not normal. I don't see my other friends, my white friends in the Netherlands or anywhere. I've been traveling around the world. I've been surrounded by white friends a lot in wherever I go. The university I went, it was an international university. We had about more than 10 nationalities, Americans, Canadian. So I have a lot of friends. I've been in multinational environments a lot. So I know when I'm going through certain things, they know it, they feel it, they see what happened. They saw what happened to me. They know it. We talk about this. I'm not hiding this. I have friends on WhatsApp that have read a story and they keep calling me. And when they call me, sometimes, they were like, yo, how you doing, man? I'm like, yeah, I'm just keeping up. I was like, wow, you strong guy to go through that. And I'm like, yeah, there's no other way to fight this than, just to calm down. If you get angry, it will not solve it's not going to solve the problem. So you just have to be calm, collect your evidences, and, think about a solution for later, because the best thing you can do is make sure that you are being cooperative, right? That you don't let them get out of your feelings and start overreact, because the moment you let emotions take over, you're going to lose the reality of what's really happening, and you will be it will make you lose. Based on that, you're going to lose in the end. So collect your evidences, make sure that you have enough evidence. I was able to have a stronger evidence in the sense that I didn't use cash to pay for the external traveling agent. If I use cash to pay for an external traveling agent, I wouldn't have any proof that I actually pay for the external traveling agent. Why I'm saying this?
They don't give receipts.
No.
Okay.
The only proof I had, right, of that payment was on my statement on my credit card.
Okay. All right. So now that we've listened to the story, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I heard your story. This is really very pathetic, So, like I said, did you plan? Because when you talk about collecting evidence, did you actually plan to file this case if they had, accepted their fault or their mistake while you were at Milan airport? Would you have gone ahead to file for a case? Would you have gone ahead to file a case?
Okay. So this brings me back to the statement I read previously. I'm an entrepreneur, right? I own a business, so customers are kings and queens to me, right? So I'll put myself in that lady's position. If a customer will buy a product from me and come back and says the product doesn't work, my first thought is to look to have a conversation with that person, right, and come to a solution. So I would give that person that space to resolve the problem with me before it goes to a third party, a lawyer or whatever. You don't want your business to be out there like that. You will solve the problem. So me putting myself in that position, I was able to be the calm passenger, to give her that space to make it right for me there at the airport. So to come back to your question, being cooperative at the airport where I could have flipped and act crazy, it's already a proof to me that I didn't want that to happen, to go into arbitration or to go to a lawyer, to go to that extent. Secondly, I've shown it to you, and for anybody who wants to see it too, you can later go to my page and see it. There's a proof that I'm a frequent flyer. I'm on their program, right? When you are a business owner and then you are part of a reputable airline like Lufthansa. I wanted to make my intention right, let people know that to be honest on that program is a privilege, right? You are more than just a common passenger. You take them serious. You respect their brand. You understand? And their quality brand, promoted as such. So being part of that family was a pride. So I didn't want to. If you feel like you are part of a family, when something, you know how family handle routes, right? You will not run away and just go and tell. You stay with them. You make sure that the issue is resolved. You be patient as much as possible to get to a point where, the opponent is not being cooperative, and then because you are looking for justice and solution, you open the door to a third person, which is the legal, representatives or conciliation. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't just run. It's not like I was looking for opportunity for this to happen to me. I didn't think of it. It's also the reason why I couldn't even record anything at that time to show, right? But there was definitely a CCTV there that can, that I want. The purpose of this campaign is to just, put pressure on them to bring those videos out. I wouldn't even want to watch those videos because it will only remind me of that, traumatized experience. And we are in a new year, we just want to vibe with a new energy. But they haven't stopped. To be honest, even though I went to arbitration, they haven't really stopped. I'm still going through I'm still being bullied because I haven't. I've taken the case so far. Really, I know they know it. I know it, and they know it. People
So
watching too.
let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I have to ask you this question I asked you before. I didn't want you to digress. I just want to go straight to the point and tell me there's some things that I would like to hear. I'm not hearing those things. Do you understand? So you're confusing me. I don't want you to confuse people. Okay. So let's do this. Now, you're in the arbitration. Okay. Fine. I ask you a question about why you went to the arbitration in the first place. Okay, you took the matter to arbitration. If, I want answers like, I didn't even want to go to arbitration in the first place. If only, number one, this matter was resolved amicably right at the airport. If only they had apologized, which you begged for.
Yeah.
And wanted to know why you were being treated the way you were being treated, instead of being given an answer to what happened to you, the humiliation escalated, even to the point that even now that when you go back to Netherlands, which shows that they know what they are doing, they are all corresponding because you're a Black man. The humiliation continued even while you're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But they are using the airline now that you initially you thought maybe the airline or the officials did not know or didn't know what happened. But from whatever that's happening to you now that you are in the Netherlands, you knew quite well that they knew what happened to you and they knew that you were not at fault. So let us intimidate him into staying quiet.
And I even said it. Yeah, I wrote it on a form too. So the representatives, the government knows it.
So don't even mention about that. You're telling us. So even right now that you're in Netherlands, the humiliation and intimidation continued, which means that the officials of Lufthansa, they know what happened to you. And they have refused to give you an answer to what happened to you. If not, you would have even gone to the arbitration. All you needed was an apology. Even if the woman had apologized to you at the airport, that the trauma that you went through, you don't even wish it to your enemy.
Yeah.
That you even pleaded for that apology, knowing that they knew what happened to you.
Yeah.
And they refused to give it to you. and they continued with their humiliation, and pursuing you, and even in the Netherlands using, whatever they are using, all their might.
Yeah.
The company is using all their might to fight you, to, intimidating you to staying quiet. And that was the reason why you went to the arbitration.
Exactly.
So that you can get justice.
Yeah.
After all, why will you, you're a frequent flyer of whatever airline, the Lufthansa, you never actually planned to, do this. But because of the way they are going on with it, that's what eventually prompted you to go to arbitration, which will be a story for another day.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand me? Yes, which will be a story for another day. So when you finish this one now said, I'll ask you, I'll tell you another thing that I needed to say. So now you went to arbitration. Now I'm going to ask you, went to arbitration. Did you actually plan to go to the arbitration before? Would you allow the team to go?
No.
So,
No, I wouldn't. So I wouldn't go to arbitration. I wouldn't even go that far. I didn't even know about arbitration in the first place. I had to do a random search on the internet to find them. That tells you that I didn't even want to go that far. If when I contacted Lufthansa, the customer service with my complaint, my expectations was still give them, the time to resolve the issue with me, because that's what a frequent flyer for somebody that holds the airline to that high esteem will do. You will look for a solution. And that's what I did. I was looking for solutions. So I contacted them just like the lady at the airport at the München, Munich, advised me to, and I did exactly that. I wouldn't have taken the case to arbitration if they seized that opportunity to apologize to me and give me and answered my questions. Basically, those questions were very simple, like what happened and why was I treated that way? I'm curious, so if they will give me answers to this to save me from this curiosity, it would have given me some peace, right? That it will not get to a point where an arbitration would even have to come in, and the reason why I eventually, took the case to arbitration was because Lufthansa did not respond to me. They treated me as if what happened at Milan did not even happen, like it didn't exist. That's the treatment. Their response was dry. I felt as if like I know that was a robotic response. I have friends in the tech, and they sell robot apps to these type of companies. So I know the kind of responses you get automatically when a client, make a report about a product or wherever. There's a very standard email that they get, and that's what I got. So me knowing that, being knowledgeable about how these things work, I emailed them again. I tried to even look for another email, hoping that I'll get to another person to look at the case, because my intention is not just take the case and just, take it out there and just, cause the company any kind of harm for no reason. Even though I went through all those traumatized experience, I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to go to arbitration. But the reason why I did is because of their response. And after that, the kind of treatment I start receiving, I know, because when they took my passport at the airport, they made a call I'm not an Italian. I don't live in Italy. So if they will pick up your passport, they will call your resident. That's your home. So at that point, I knew the Dutch government didn't know it that I was there, right? That's first point. And the second point was the arbitrators. When Lufthansa tried to block the arbitration, it became very clear to me that they were not willing to resolve the issue with me. Instead, they developed a tactic to let the government, people in the government in the Netherlands, bully me to back away from the story because I was quiet. You can imagine, for somebody going through, most people will not even contact Lufthansa. They'll go straight online and just blast about it. The fact that I was quiet, I was able to, even aftermath all the traumatized situation. Mind you, I haven't told you, I went to my doctor for a different reason, to go and have like a general checkup. And then she told me, I think you have to speak to my colleague. And the colleague is a psychological doctor. So I had about 2-3 weeks sections of that, going through that, traumatized. And they know it. These are there. They are there. The government know it because these are all, well documented incidents. They know the place. They know the time. I have all the details of that, session that I had to do with the doctor, and all because of this incident and the fact that I wasn't getting my questions answered. Instead, I was being bullied to back away from the story, and yeah, if you know me, I'm somebody that, I don't like to bully people, so I don't like to be bullied. So
okay,
it was right for me to take it to the arbitrators to find the answers that they couldn't provide. Because one, the traumatized experience, you make a report of it, they try to block arbitration, and then you get haunted. The humiliation really continues to this day. And this is the reason why I need to put it out, because it's about my life too, and people need to know that this is what I'm dealing with now. Even I'm still going through now. The impact of what happened, aftermath, and taking the case up to that level has put a lot of target on me. And I know it. They know it. I'm not speculating. It's well documented incidents. I'm not going to go in details into who is this doctor and who is this and who is that with organization yet. I hope they don't let me get to that point. I'm still out for justice to be served.
okay.
And
All
yeah.
right. Okay, thank you very much, George. I will get back to you when I need something to ask you, okay? I will ask you something, but I want to check out the things that we have done. Then I will get back to you, so you don't still have to change your dress. So you have to stand by in case if I quickly need you to. When I watch all the ones that you said, if I felt that, okay, I need you to, put one or two things there more, then we can always get back to it. So anyways, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So in the meantime as well, if it's possible for you to send me that
the videos to you,
video as well, then we can do that on the same time as well. While you are watching it, I'm also watching it. Well.
Okay, fine. So let me just bring it and then cut it and send it to with transfer, so that as you're watching, I'm watching. So we can now equal. So you also watch the other one that we did before.
Yeah.
I want you to watch the other one that we did before. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I was watching
balance.
It
okay. Yeah. Let's balance them, because I want, if we're putting something out there, let it be the best.
Exactly. I
Okay.
mean, we really worked hard for that. You know, we
Yes,
waited for the right moment.
exactly. So one of
So
you,
it has to
let
be
us do,
right.
let it be the best. Okay.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so let me just send the video to you. Then I
Okay.
can always close. I'll close once I'm done with what my own. I will now close the
Okay.
conversation. Do you understand?
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much, George. So stand by
Thank
for
you.
me. Okay.
Thank you, Ada. Yeah, thank you.